Ivanka Trump is the Vice President of Development and Acquisitions for the Trump Organization.
That is right.
Boy,
But
that's
really,
some title.
why not modeling? Come on.
I knew I came here for a reason. Thank you. Thank you.
welcome.
I feel better already.
So
My
what are your-
father, I was just telling you actually backstage,
Yeah.
he called me around 5 minutes ago, and I think I perceived a hint of jealousy in his voice.
Oh, sure.
That I was here.
Yeah.
You know, I
Really?
joke with him all the time. There should be a show called Regis, Kelly, and Donald.
Yes.
He loves being here so much.
We
So
are
he was
actually
joking around
most
with me.
comfortable when he is here. That's true.
I tried to call him earlier this morning. There was no answer at the Trump Organization, believe it or not.
When the cat's away, you know. I'm not there to crack the whip.
There you go.
He's slacking a bit.
What exactly do you do with this job with the nice title here, Development and Acquisitions?
The sort of brilliant thing is there's few things I don't do, and that's one of the fun things about my position, and I think that's one of the fun things about working within the context of family company. You know, from big and small issues, our names are on all our buildings. It's important to us to maintain the integrity of our brand, so there really is nothing too small. But, you know, I'm also on the development team, so the typical things you would associate with real estate.
Sure, absolutely.
But what are you inspired by? I mean, these buildings are so sort of iconic. So
Well, my father used to, I worked for another developer after graduating Wharton, and he used to send me renderings of a beautiful tower we have going up in Chicago, a 92-story, modern, sleek, SOM design glass tower. With sort of questions on it, just periodically going, and you're not working on this project, why, question mark, or other sort of taunting you know, phrases of that kind. And that's exactly it. We're working on these just amazing projects.
So what has
sexy
been the
and beautiful.
last acquisition you've made for the Trump Organization?
Well, we just announced a major deal in Puerto Rico. We also just announced a major deal in Russia. We're going into China in a very large way, especially our hotel. So you'll be seeing a lot more Trump International Hotel and Towers opening up all around the world and all around the United States.
So that's a lot of traveling for you, isn't it?
A lot of traveling. Your producer was asking me where I'd been recently, and the word Kazakhstan came out, and I just saw him look at me being like, huh, Kazakhstan.
is there going to be a Trump Kazakhstan?
We'll see. We'll see. It could be very interesting. So.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And the show goes well. It's getting better and better. The Celebrity Apprentice has made a great comeback this year, I think.
Well, you know, I
It's a lot of
remember.
fun as well. You know, it's a different atmosphere. But for me, it's a little bit funny because, you know, normally it's slightly intimidated, you know, 20-something-year-olds sitting across the table. And now we've got people like Gene Simmons, you know, Omarosa,
Right.
and sort of this whole cast of people who have accomplished so much in their own fields.
Sure.
Lennox Lewis.
Oh, I think it's a great
you know, so it's a
idea.
little like,
Oh,
I
it's
stare at them like,
terrific,
you know,
Absolutely.
I have a lot of respect for the people that sit across.
Now, Gene Simmons, according to what I remember on the show, did he make a pitch for you, or did he hit on you? Or?
I think almost as a female, I'd be offended if he hadn't. So, knowing his reputation, I don't know that my pride could handle it if Gene Simmons had not at least like tried to flirt with
Did
me.
he? But was it, what kind of a pitch was it?
I think he's got a certain way about him. I remember the first time I met him, I walked into the room with my father, and he asked my father if I could stay behind when he left the room. So, you know, I think this is his dialogue, if you will, with women.
How did the Trumps to take that?
Yeah, there you
Not
go.
too well. Huh? We'll take a break. We'll come right back with Ivanka Trump. Ivanka Trump is with us. Now let's talk about this Celebrity Apprentice. You know, some of the contestants have fallen by the wayside, but you got the cream of the crop left, it seems to me, and it's hard to guess who is going to be the winner of this thing.
We've got a bunch of great people. You know, Piers.
How do you like Piers Morgan?
He's a real character, but I have a lot of respect for him. He's accomplished a lot. He
Doesn't
was
back down
one
from an
of,
argument,
No,
does
he
he?
does not.
He and Omarosa.
Which is one of the interesting things, and I think that's part of the dynamic of having a group of people who are extremely successful, and a group of people who probably haven't worked, you know, 19-hour days since they were, you know, 20 years old. So.
Who impresses you the most? Who's the most business savvy, would you say?
I think that everyone has really unique styles. I think you look at Trace Atkins, and he has this sort of cool country way about him. You know, he's so calm. Whereas you have Piers, who's, you know, much more aggressive and confrontational, and that's his style. So it's interesting to see these people who are very successful and have translated that style successfully in their careers, but they're just so different. So.
Well, how do you get along personally with Omarosa?
She's a trip. I mean, she really is a character. I've never had a personal problem with her, which is probably a good thing. But she is. I mean, she takes it to another level, right?
I thought it was a great idea to bring her back. She was the most celebrated, I think, of all the contestants
Like the
he ever had on
villain,
the show.
sort of. Like the
And you know, it's an
quintessential.
amazing thing. She did not win the original Apprentice.
That's right.
And yet, you know, she's been able to, you know, create a great career for herself, and that's, you know, that's a skill in and of itself.
Well,
so.
let's talk about you for just a minute. What kind of a man would you be interested in? What is it going to take to land Ivanka your Trump?
Wow. I like men who are extremely hardworking. I like men who are. I actually tend to like men a bit on the dorky side.
Dorky side?
Yeah, smart.
Well, look around here.
Joy would kill us.
Now, what's it talking about me? Check out Gilbert.
Yeah, he's not that hard to work with.
So you want a hardworking guy, a little on the dorky side? That doesn't
it's
bother
almost,
you?
I think because I've sort of grown up in the context, I've always been surrounded by sort of very powerful and motivated and driven men. That's sort of what I'm drawn to. You know, even you know, within my family, my brothers, every man in my life is like that. So that's what I find.
But let me ask you something. Does this man, because you're tall just like your father, would a short...
Height doesn't hurt. Because,
I know, but would a
especially when
short...
I've got these puppies on, you know, I'm around
Right.
6'1" with these things.
Right.
So.
But would a shorter man be accepted? If he's
By
hard,
whom?
if
by
he's-
me
Yeah.
or by my family?
No, by you. If
We're
he's
like
hard
the
working,
giants. My father's 6'3", my brother is 6'6".
you're all tall, yeah.
He may be manhandled a bit by my gigantically tall younger brother, but I'm sure he would be accepted by me.
But you, yeah, sure. Have you
This
dated?
could be a great
think-
reality show, by the way.
I think if we're talking purely aesthetic, I'd probably prefer him a little bit taller.
Yes. Sure.
Defining, you know, what's short. But
What if he was
but then
hardworking
again,
enough and dorky enough?
There you go.
What does she want?
There you go. and a good sense of humor to boot.
There
Right,
you
of
go.
course.
Well, you're a doll, Ivanka. You really are. Celebrity Apprentice, Thursday nights, 9 o'clock on NBC. Hi, Donald. Hey, Trumpster, how are you? Michael McDonald coming up next. We'll be right back.
Okay, really?